right, and we are live.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 274. Today is Monday, October 22nd, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
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 Today is 10-ish. For the free cryptic coin last week, who won?
Oh, yeah. So our free winner from last week is Shinobi1. Thank you.
Shinobi1 has won so many.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got a lot of repeat winners. Thank you for your comment about banks and money laundering and what's your best or favorite story about it, and also discussing that there is $21 trillion missing. Put some great names in there to look up as far as the money missing in our economy. It's just gone somewhere. But, you know, they talk about Bitcoin. So thanks for that, Shinobi1. Be sending those free cryptic coins.
All right. And then an update on the cryptic coins as well. We are waiting on a wallet upgrade before we can send those out. Yep. Speaking of which, Tessa, we saw your message. So, yeah, we're waiting on a wallet upgrade for the cryptic coins. Everybody won last week and a half. We'll be making sure we be pushing all those out. Hopefully we can get that going, next 24, 48 hours or so? Yep. We'll see soon. And hopefully you don't hear the construction going on in the background. They always know when we're on live, and they like to turn it up. So let's see how good this microphone works, because we can hear all of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, for the top stories today. JP Morgan, that is right. U.S. recession by 2020 has 60% chance. Is crypto an alternative? That is right. Yeah. Coming from JP Morgan, $362 billion banking giant JP Morgan Chase has predicted a 60% chance for the next U.S. recession to occur by 2020. And a global market crash. Can crypto be a viable alternative to existing stores of value? And wow, it looks like that the U.S. recession within 1 year is almost at 28%, and it rises to more than 60% over the next 2 years. Researchers wrote in the note this week, they said over the next 3 years, odds go up to 80%. But I got to tell you, folks, we've been calling for a recession now probably for the last, almost last 2 years exactly now. So for them to push it out at 2020, it makes me feel like it's actually closer than what we think.
Oh, yeah, actually. And if you think about time periods of a recession, the recession of 08 didn't start in 08. It started in 07.
That's
so
true,
you have to think about what they think is the start of a recession. Is it only when it hits them? Because it's definitely going to hit them later.
Right.
It's going to hit
them a lot later.
Yeah, so their timeline is kind of skewed in my opinion. And also, too, the percentages that they put, what it may happen, like in 28% if it happens in 1 year, 60% in 2 years, 80% in 3 years, all that, none of that matters. To me, if they have a concern, why is there nothing they can do to prevent this recession? Because they have to operate the way they've always operated. Our whole market cycle is boom and bust, boom and bust. So, in our opinion, I think it's coming sooner than we think, and you should be getting prepared right now, because this may mean that the recession is about to start next week.
Really? I mean,
2020 is when you'll feel like
when you feel the full effects of the recession.
When we walk around like Will Smith and I Am Legend.
Too funny.
Gas is $6. Then you'll be like, oh yeah, the recession.
Well, I mean, for us, that's like a week from now, but
oh, yeah.
I think it's like 5:30. I checked this weekend.
5,
So I will say, to kind of go along with that, it's people, the banks in no point of history. I mean, you could pick a year since banks have been invented. They have never been there for the people.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you.
And exactly, and that's my point. It's not like they're not going to tell you when it's actually going to happen. So. As Bitcoins, they say, if they're telling you 2020, it's probably around the corner, or that's the time when they actually feel it, which means it's going to be a lot worse for us. Yeah. But if JP Morgan is coming out saying, hey, recession's on the horizon, again, we have them every decade, just about everywhere, 8 to 10 years. We're long overdue. From 2008, we're about to go into 2019, so we're going to 11 years. So we're on the brink of one anyway. I mean, it's about that time. But again, if the banks are warning you, it might be time to start thinking about how you're going to diversify or hold on to whatever you have, I guess.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me because in this information age, I feel like everybody thinks a recession is coming and everybody's getting ready for it. It even says here 2/3 of the business economists in the U.S. expect the market to crash by 2020. So, and they base it on trade issues. There's a number of different reasons why. However, it's crazy how we can all sit here and know our economy is going to crash, but there's nothing we can actually do to stop it.
YOLO.
It's too, that's basically what people, that is our economic policy at this point. YOLO. We're not collecting gold. Other countries are. They're getting, hard assets in preparation for it, but America, we like, hey, we got credit card debt, student loan debt, we got housing bubble. Who cares? We going down with the ship.
Well, you know what? I'm going to steal this from Zay since I haven't heard him say it yet. But something he said in the past before, he always tries to remind a few select people of is what else happens in 2020, people, when it comes to crypto.
Oh yeah,
the halvening.
The halvening.
Bitcoin is the amount of Bitcoin you can mine gets cut in half, which means your Bitcoin right now is going to be worth basically double to what it is right now if we continue on the same trend line. So that's pretty funny that JP Morgan, all people would say 2020 is the year of the recession finally, and then that's also the year Bitcoin has its halvening. So maybe they are really preparing, lining things up to say, you know what, if you're not in by then, it'd be a tough 20s.
And they haven't really mentioned crypto as an alternative. In fact, they've said that crypto is a terrible alternative. But as soon as Fidelity comes around, or Goldman Sachs, or Citigroup, or Bakkt, and all these other institutional platforms, now it's an alternative. Hey, we may be able to move it into this and get more out of it. So good to see from JP Morgan actually putting it out, but of course from the time standpoint.
They gotta say they rest their clients, though, right?
Oh yeah, they gotta save somebody.
We told y'all a year ago that a recession's coming. I mean, it's literally, when you think about people, 2020. I mean, you got to go in months. You talk about quarters and fiscal years. The fiscal year usually starts in October, I believe, which is probably why they're putting it out now, because this covers them from October 2018, October 2019. That is actually the fiscal year. So at the end of the next fiscal year, at the end of October 2019, 2020 is upon us. So really looking at about 14 months, people. 14 or 15 months before a recession happens. That's what JP Morgan at least is saying. Again, you don't have to listen to us. Listen to the quote-unquote experts in the mainstream. But if they're right, then you have 14 months to get it together.
Get you some Bitcoin and some rifles.
There you go. Hey, in my head, I was like, keep your gunpowder dry. No.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next up, Visa integrates open source Hyperledger tech for business-to-business blockchain payments.
What up?
Woo! What is going on with Visa?
Oh, yeah. Well, they've discussed this before. Visa has, and MasterCard, they've discussed being able to use Hyperledger or some sort of blockchain technology in order to make payments better. Of course, they would partner with IBM, because IBM is running the Hyperledger fabric created by the Linux Foundation. And in order to create a payment system that's faster than what they have now, Hyperledger looks like the solution. So it depends on how you feel about the crypto market, whether this is good to you or good for business. But overall, we know the big corporations are coming, so it's easy to see why Visa would use it, especially when you have business-to-business payments in an instant. Visa still has their fees are still way too high, in my opinion. Especially when you're doing business-to-business payments, and it'll make it easier for them. And for Bitcoin as well, we have Lightning Network coming, so payments are becoming faster no matter what industry you're in. So, of course, good to see there.
There we go. Shout out to Visa, making things that much easier.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta. If nothing else, I mean, Bitcoin is going to make other companies work harder and try and come up with better solutions. Because when people can spend $1 million for 10 cents and they can do it in a matter of minutes, that kind of puts the onus on them. Like, all right, we got to come up with something. At the very least, it's going to improve their business.
I was going to say that it's kind of, what a lot of these businesses are coming into the space, a lot of institution businesses as well. They're using the same old methodology of, we're going to keep everything in house.
Yeah.
Again, the reason why they don't understand or why they can't catch up to Bitcoin, the blockchain network, is because that is open source. Everyone around the world can take a peek at it and work on it. And yet, to me, it's just like, well, the same companies, while they might be coming up with something innovative or the next thing for them, it's like, if you were to open source this out, or if you actually just use Bitcoin, the blockchain network, you would still actually make a lot more money in the long term. Once you update all your systems, you can be the first to market to figure out the next thing that's coming, as you always say, selling the shovels. But instead,
they won't have a business.
Yeah, there you go.
They get that tap on the shoulder like everybody else.
Let's give some quick shout outs. Going on Tessa, Allison, Vivian, Torrance J Playlist, Malik, Howard, S1 Dub, Sergeant Crypto. Hello, happy Monday to everyone.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Big Baller Brand. When they had their JBA League come out, they forced the G League to start having to pay $125K a year. So if nothing else, it's forcing the bigger business to change their model, because then when people realize it's possible with Bitcoin, all of a sudden these companies, we got to get some sort of solution. So at least force them to do better. All
right. China's internet agency regulator has strict demands for blockchain startup. Like how you calling a red flag on the play. Hall monitor in effect. China's central internet regulator has issued strict rules targeting blockchain companies and entities operating in China. Looks like the Cyberspace Administration of China has published draft regulations on Friday demanding blockchain-based information service providers to register users using real names. They know about the crypto game.
Oh, yeah.
National identification numbers, Censor postings and store user data. One thing I just want to repeat is how they're calling them blockchain-based information service providers.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know what that is.
That's called the feds.
Looks like the regulation is going to follow an open letter posted by a Chinese student activist on the web in April regarding an alleged cover-up of sexual harassment on blockchain, which cannot be deleted or altered. The letter was posted on Ethereum blockchain that attracted censors on WeChat, Weibo, and other leading social media platforms in the country.
Oh yeah, well, wow. These draft regulations, it's not a game basically. In China, if they want to know what you're doing, they will find out. And you know, it actually states the implementation of this blockchain information within the territory of People's Republic of China shall comply with these provisions. So it doesn't matter if you create some sort of new technology in China, you will be held to the same standards as everybody else. And blockchain is no different. You have to register actually with the National Internet Information Office. Whew. I mean, if I went through all of the different names for people they have on here, I wouldn't be able to get.
I mean, how many people are in China? 1.2 billion or something.
Billion, yeah.
So you're going to have a data center with 1.2 billion, or let's just say 30% of that, right? Yeah. The size of America.
Yeah.
You're going to basically put the size of America as far as population in your country on a centralized server, or you're going to try to basically, know every little, as S1 does said, wait, no DNA required. You're going to know all these little details. You're literally going to have another agency just to audit all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you, as soon as you hire some more government agencies or government workers, you're gonna have to hire more to check what they just did,
right?
Just because of checks and balances. So yeah, China is, like we said, it's not a game. If they want to find out, they're gonna find out. So. With the social scores coming, blockchain, it can definitely be useful. You're going to have to prick your finger for blood every time you use WeChat now and
right.
any other social media. So, hey, man.
Hey, wait until we're synced up with AI.
No,
Black Mirror, you got it in your brain. They're going to be like, oh, we're going to need that identification number to your chip so we can see all incoming and outgoing cyber traffic that you think about.
You want to get paid this month?
Right.
Or what?
Right, really.
It's your decision.
All right. In other crazy international news, Spanish government approves draft law to require crypto investors to reveal holdings. Again,
coming in hot on this Monday.
Right? Right? Oh, y'all thought the regulators were done for the year?
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna lie. I think when we called it, we said the regulators were gonna start early January, early February. I didn't realize they were gonna go this long.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get a good strong 1 or 2 quarters. I mean, full court press right now.
Oh, yeah, all over the world.
Right? Cryptocurrency investors governed by Spain could face mandatory reporting of their holdings for tax purposes under a new, keyword new, I keep telling you, they're making this stuff up overnight, people. Under a new draft law the government approved Friday, October 19th.
They get to look at the day. Friday evening when everybody's getting off work,
right.
Nobody's worried about
a bill they approved 3 days ago when no one was there to pay attention.
Nobody pays attention.
Local daily news, ABC reports. Looks like at a press conference, the country's finance minister, Maria Jesus Montero, the measures seek to make holders of crypto assets declare them regardless of whether they are in Spain or offshore.
What?
They sound a lot like our country right now with that offshore stuff.
Very U.S.-ish.
And again, just talking about the U.S., we did that with our Congress people or whatever, and came to find out that people were lying. People have more than they said they did. I mean, everything we expected to happen happened. So it's one of those things. How is this even going to work in Spain, and why are they even doing it?
Yeah, and it's funny to see what they do as far as passing it on Friday. We do it too. Just like it's one of the oldest tricks in the book. If you want to pass something, you don't want people to make a big fuss about it, do it on Friday. Because the news on Saturday doesn't cover stuff like that. Sunday, everybody's chilling, and then Monday you come back, you're like, hold up, this is what happened? Yes. You now have to sign up and give away your holdings, which is going to be impossible in my opinion, because people have multiple wallets. If this stretches internationally like they're trying to do, offshore, so to say, good luck. That's all I have to say, because you have people have it on exchanges, people have it in wallets. Some people could be sent crypto on accident. Some people could send it as a gift. Some of it could be mined. I mean, it's so many different things. Airdrops, forks, if something gets forked off. So as far as their tax evasion stuff, I think they're going for big fish, people who have, in the millions. But for the most part, they won't be able to find everybody. It's literally impossible, because new wallets are being created as we speak. And as far as the governments, another game of whack-a-mole. So good luck to them. And hopefully they can get some get some sense about themselves and realize it doesn't work this way.
Shout out to Sergeant Crypto. I used to say that all the time. Yeah. They need to stop pocket watching. That is right. Why are you worried about what other people doing, how much they have? And I mean, again, we know it's all criminal because here's the criminal part of it. It says the penalties involved for incorrect information about a taxpayer earnings are severe, consisting of 5,000 euros or $5,745 fine for each inaccuracy. So if you're anything like American students who weren't taught how to fill out tax forms growing up and you don't have anybody around you that knows how to do it, each inaccuracy is going to cost you about $6,000. So,
man,
yeah. As CryptoQ said, faucets, how can they verify? That's the thing with all this. It's pretty difficult. Unless they're going to zone in on one person or a group of people, it is very difficult to prove or to verify this type of stuff in a timely manner. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You know, in 2 or 3 years you can, which is why even right now in the crypto space, you see a lot of the people getting convicted or whatever that has to do with cryptocurrency is from 2016, 2015. Yeah. I mean, just now you're getting some people who, you know, they say activities may have ran into 2017, but it takes about 2 or 3 years when you're targeting specific people. So again, it's one of those things where unless you run those, you know, you're talking $250,000 plus, and even honestly in some instances, $500,000, $750,000 plus, depending on what you're doing, then that's when you need to start worrying about. If it's less than that, you're just not worth the squeeze, people, because
they're not looking in for your little $200.
Right. You got 2 or 3. You got 2 or 3 inaccuracies. You can give them what, $10,000, $11,000, but. You know, if it's, you know, over $1 million or a few million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, then you might, how many accuracies do you have now? How much could they actually find you? So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's all about money.
Every time.
Yep. It's pretty good though. Bank of Japan. Central bank issued digital currencies are not an effective economic tool. We had to go back to a story like this. People.
Somebody with a little bit of sense. As
we start to see more CBDCs form, again, we're going to see a lot more in 2019. Japan's coming out saying, nah. What's going on over there?
Well, they've stated this before, but Bank of Japan's deputy governor has stated that he's reiterating his stance against CBDCs, which is that they will have a negative effect if they're issued.
He's trying to warn everybody. He's like, don't do it. Stop.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Slow down the stable coins. Slow down the CBDCs. It's not going to work.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because he actually states in order for central banks to overcome the zero lower bound on nominal interest rates, they would need to get rid of cash from society, which is a bad thing because at the end of the day, cash is still king. Cash can still be used privately. And at the end of the day, if you want to put everything digital, put everything online, that's a big security risk. That's even bigger. Right. I mean, that's bigger than what we have now. So
especially when your security isn't up to par for some countries.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's only a handful of countries whose cybersecurity is. I mean, and that's on. I mean, wood is really up to par too.
Yeah, and think about the government having challenge. Imagine you being able to flip a switch and a bank's money is no longer. And what can you do if you bank at that? I mean, you could just look at your account and it says zero. And well, you don't have anything, sir. And if you don't have any cash to support it, or any hard money like gold or anything that you can keep like Bitcoin, CBDCs would be terrible. And Japan has been one of the forefront leaders of cryptocurrency, so they actually have an insight into how these CBDCs or why they were created. They're used simply so you won't move your money to cryptocurrencies after a while. And with stable coins, we'll see how they work. But CBDCs being issued to everybody, to me, of course it wouldn't work because everything would be digital. But Japan, I'm glad they came out and actually said it. Got to have some people that's brave. Like we said, this is the year to take a side, and it looks like Japan has. Right. Good for them.
And it's crazy. You know, as we were just saying, stable coins popping up everywhere. CBDCs are coming next year, people. We already saw one this year that popped up a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They will be here next year. You're going to see one bank somewhere, one big bank or one big country say, you know, we're going to go forward with it. Because on the crypto side, people literally just spent this entire year, this entire bear market developing tech. Yeah. All right. Everybody's learning new stuff about the sector, how to make stuff happen. People are learning how the regulators can move. I won't lie, me personally, I knew how they moved, but not how they really move, how they did it. I mean, I thought it was just all hearsay. Like, you're not that big of criminals, are you? Turns out they are. But you learn how to maneuver around that. So my point is next year is only going to be more crypto talk. It's going to be even bigger. And banks and countries will finally say, you know what? Either we can join in on one of these pre-existing coins or tokens or stable coins, or we can try to create our own. I mean, judging about the madness they've already done this year, why not, right?
Yeah.
They've tried it all. They tried everything else.
They tried everything else.
With the, the exception of war. So let's try the CBDC thing. That doesn't work, then you know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, well, at least you know you got Japan on your side.
There you go.
Catch a quick flight.
Right? All right. Other than that, for the free cryptic coin, what are we doing today?
Oh, yeah. So for the free cryptic coins, the U.S. recession that we discussed by 2020, do you think it'll happen before? Do you think it'll happen after? Do you think it'll happen at all? And if so, what sort of implications for crypto will it have? Will it, initially make it worse? Will it make it better as a store of value? Let us know. Put your cryptic coin address, and we'll send those free tokens.
All right. As always, thanks for listening. Have a happy Monday. If you're listening to us on the podcast, you know you can catch us on Google Play Music, iTunes, Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all others. All right. Have a good one. Cheers.
Have a good one.